In this quick tip, we're going to be seeing how to add secondary events to primary events using the Gallium interface, the management console or Gallium client, in the Gallium from PixelPower. We're looking here at a single channel, and I can add the secondary event either on the timeline at the top or using the table. I right click and I want to insert an event as a child. The event that I'm going to insert will be a graphic. This graphic is associated with a particular channel, and so by using the tags and selecting the core channel, this reduces the amount of items that I can see, and I'm going to choose the core 1 clock. I want this item to start linked to the start of the primary event, but I want it to be starting a little later, and so I'm going to type 5 seconds into here. I'm also going to move it to keyer 2. This will be apparent why I'm doing this in a moment. Having added that, I need to commit this. Then right click and insert another event as a child. Now this time the item that I'm going to insert isn't tagged with the channel, and so I'm going to find it by typing part of its name in. It is an IPP GBT, and this filters the list down to those items that have IPP GBT within their title, and in this case I want this one. I also want this to start linked to the start of the parent event, so I have relative to parent and start, and this time I want an offset of 17 seconds. I don't have to press commit every time I add a single event. I can add a number of events, and so I'm not going to press commit this time. I think you can see that both of these items are happening at the same time, and if they were on the same keyer, we'd have a resource conflict, which is why I moved the clock to keyer 2. Now I want to add a couple of graphics to the end of the parent. So I'm going to insert event as a child, again a graphic secondary, and this also has IPP GBT in its name, but this is going to be main. Now this time I want this offset to the end of the parent event, and its anchor will be the end. But I don't want it to finish at exactly the same point as the parent. I want it to end a little bit before then, so I'm going to type -30. So now we can see that it finishes 30 seconds before the end of the parent. And by pressing commit, I've committed both of these to the database. I want to add another graphic to the end of this event. Again, I'll pick graphic secondary. Now this time, this is a squeeze, so I'm going to type SQZ, and I'm going to pick my squeeze. And as before, I want this relative to the parent end. I want the anchor on the end, and this time I want the offset to be -5. So this squeeze will finish -5 seconds before the end of the parent event. Now I want to add a voiceover to the end of this parent event. So I'm going to choose insert event as child, at this time audio only secondary. Again, I could scroll through this list, but I know that the audio I want has the word Aston in it. So I can type that, pick my audio over, and this also needs to be relative to the parent end and anchored on its end. And the offset that I want for this is -7 seconds. And now I can commit that. Finally, I want to insert a logo over the whole of this. Now I could choose insert event as child and pick the logo and then select the logo file, but I have previously set this up as a timeline. So I'm going to insert timeline as a child, and the logo is set up not only as a timeline, but it also has a keyboard shortcut of 1 because it's something that I will regularly use. You'll see that that has come up on a key of 4 because that's how it's defined in the timeline, and it is also set up with the correct timings that I want it relative to the parent. I want it fill with a duration of -5, that is, its duration is 5 seconds less than the parent, and it starts 3 seconds after the parent, and it has a fade in and fade out. So all of these are defined within the timeline, so by simply inserting that from the timeline it completes all of that, and I can commit that. Because it's set up as a keyboard shortcut, I can do that directly by typing the keyboard shortcut, which is Ctrl+1, and we can see that this has been inserted as a child of this open surfing, and I can commit that. So that is how to insert a number of different event types as secondaries on a program primary using Management Console in Gallium from Pixel Power.